here from Backyard Garden Highlights. Hope you guys are doing great today. Today I'm planning to share it with you guys how my winter containers are looking and show you guys what's the success rate for my winter container. I'm super excited to see especially some of the seedlings like stock, lupin and the black-eyed Susan. They are actually filled the container, so I think they are kind of bursting. So let me show you guys how each container looks now. First container I want to open with the container that does not have anything. I already told you guys in my, I think when I was starting with my winter sowing project, the pansies are really something I never been able to successful with winter sowing method. I don't really have anything in the containers, even though I did not get any successful with winter sowing method for pansies. The last year pansies self-seeded, so my garden is filled with at least 10 to 15 seedlings for pansies, and all the volunteer plants are now with blooms. Even though they are tiny, they look cute. You can see this is the pansy container. There is nothing actually. All the remaining containers are really full. So I'll start with lupin. This is the lupin. I have sowed them around mid-February this year. Ta-da! Isn't this awesome, guys? I don't know. One portion of the container is full of plants and the other half is empty, but I think whatever I am getting from the winter sowing is definitely a great addition. Lupin roots are fragile. We need to be cautious in terms of transplanting them. I don't know whether I'll get enough time today to transplant all the seedlings, but I'm going to keep them open. So tonight it's going to be rain, so they'll get nice water, and maybe in next 1 or 2 days I'll be transplanting, if not today. The next one that I'm going to open up is Alyssum, and Alyssum is one of my favorite recently because they actually start blooming inside the container itself. I planted these seeds in February mid, and now it's almost end of April. Within 1.5 months they started blooming. Last year also I had bloom inside the container, and this time also I could see some of the blooms already. Alyssum is definitely a gardener's delight because you will see the bloom in the winter container. I overseeded, so the leaves are a little bit brown, but I think once I transplant them they will be really feeling so happy. The next one I am planning to open up is black-eyed Susan. And this is also I planted more than maybe 30 plus seeds in one container because they are perennial and they bloom in the same year. And especially with the bright yellow color, they will definitely fill the garden and they will be attracted even from the long distance. So I am super excited to open up this container, but I could see one leaf coming out of the container, so they are overcrowded. This is the black-eyed Susan. Ta-da! Oh my god, look at these seedlings. They are very strong and they look really awesome. But I don't recall how many seeds. I thought I sowed almost 40 plus seeds. I have to check my video, but I think I at least have some 10 to 12 seedlings. Nice seedlings. Isn't it awesome, guys, to get wonderful seedlings? Winter sowing is definitely a win situation for home gardener who doesn't really want to spend more on the garden center and also have nice seedlings, lot of seedlings at home. Alright guys, the next 3 containers that I have is StockFlowers, and they are school crops. I could have actually opened them maybe sometime back, and last year my stock plants, I think if I remember, the critters ate. They actually pinched off all the plant stick. At least I think I ended up with only one stock plant, and that flowered in purple and it was amazing. So I felt so bad that I could not really save a lot of seedlings last year. So this time I sowed all the seeds that I have had, I believe. So at least each container I could see like 3 to 4 plants. So I'll be making sure to spray them so that the critters don't munch them. Even inside the fenced garden, rabbits, I don't know, squirrels, they really enjoy my garden. Alright guys, so let me show you all the 3 stock containers, how they look. This stock seeds I have planted in February 12th. Ta-da! I have 4 nice seedlings. They are ready to transplant. I have another little bit itty bitty seedling. So I'm going to leave it there. But I have 4 stock plants. I'm really excited what are all different colors I'm going to get this year. This is the second stock container. Ta-da! Some of the leaves are burnt. I have more than maybe 10 plants. But I think they are overcrowded and they have grown so tall, so their tips are kind of brown for some of the leaves. But I think, yeah, definitely great results for stock in this container. This is the third container. This container is heavy. I think I have used some of the soil because I didn't have enough potting mix. I think that could be one of the reasons why I am not seeing much seedlings. But I think 4 plants. I expected at least 4 or 3 plants in each container. So I think this is great. Probably one of the learning that I'm thinking is next year I should not be lazy and I should be really planning to have all my winter containers with a good potting mix rather than mixing my own compost soil and things like that. I think the seedlings with a lot of rain in New Jersey, I think they must have been struggling to survive in a heavy soil. Let me quickly summarize what's the plant profile for you guys. So the first one we have is lupin. Lupins are perennial and they need 365 days to actually bloom. So these lupins are not going to bloom this year. They are going to bloom next year only. And I actually got one of my last year lupin plant come back this time. But I don't know, it looks very tiny. And Johnny seed packet actually mentioned that if you delay in transplanting lupins, they may not really perform well and their growth habit will be impacted. So I don't know whether I transplanted very late last year. So this year I'm hoping that I can plant them in the sunny raised bed. So I'm hoping that this is a good time for them to transplant this time. And they grow up to 36 inch, 3 feet tall. So you need to tuck them maybe in the middle of the bed if you're having the height like smaller plants in the taller plants in the background. And these are going to be really adding nice vertical structure to any garden. Next one I have is Alyssum pastel mix. Last year actually I planted white color and I was so really impressed with the plant performance, especially like after the first fall you don't see any bloom at all, but even though they bloom very tiny, but the clusters looks really beautiful and they can tolerate light frost and they survived until hard frost in our garden. So I was really thinking that I should plant such kind of plant in my garden so that after the frost I still have something to enjoy in the garden when I go around. Alyssum grows up to 8 inch, so they are very good for rocky garden as a ground cover or even a planter. So it's kind of acting as a filler in your planter. So this is definitely a good plant. Looking for blooms throughout your almost another 7 to 8 months. Is it? Yeah, almost. Yeah, until at least mid-November, they'll definitely keep you happy. Third one I have is Rudbeckia. Rudbeckia is one of the wildflower. They are actually perennial and they come back every year. Only thing I'm not sure is like whether they are going to be self-seeding a lot like yarrow. Then I think there is something I need to do in terms of weeding those seedlings. But I'm really excited to plant them because they really look attractive even from a long distance. So the bright yellow color and the dark brown or black in the middle, it's so attractive. I'm really excited to plant these in my garden. The last one I have is Cat's Formula Mix. I don't know whether it's Cat's or Cart's Formula Mix, but whatever it is, it's one of the best plant I think I would say because they look gorgeous when they bloom and they are also vertical structure and they have like a lot of blooms in one kind of spike and each bloom will be like at least an inch size. So I really enjoyed in my last year garden, but The sad part is I had only one plant survived after I transplanted, because I think, I don't know whether it's squirrel or bunny, something actually munched on the top, and I did not stake them well last year. So that's one of the learning. So this year I'm going to, even though the garden may not look great by using some wire mesh, I'm going to use the wire mesh, because once June, July comes in, I think the plants will hide all these wire mesh. They need support, especially in, I think, in July, August, when the heavy storm rain comes in. Most of the plants are suffered last year, including dahlias. I'm going to stake the stock plant this year so that I can enjoy the upward direction of plant rather than the sideways bloom. Alright guys, hope you guys liked watching this video. I'll see you in another video. Please support my channel by subscribing, commenting and sharing it with your friends.